Hi, I'm Wheeler Winston Dixon, James Ryan Professor of Film Studies at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and I want to speak for a moment today about the vanishing of the Western and the durability of the Western at the same time. The Western is certainly the most prolific of all American genres. Up until 1950, two-thirds of all films that were made were Westerns. They were a very reliable formula. They go all the way back to the 1898s in very short films, and of course 1903's The Great Train Robbery. John Ford brought the Western to fruition, an adult Western in 1939 with Stagecoach. Howard Hawks comes in with Red River in the late 1940s. High Noon, Fred Zinnemann in the 1950s, basically a film which Gary Cooper as the sheriff was a symbol of integrity. And of course the people who are associated most with the Western are John Wayne, who is the Duke, the figure of Western, and Anthony Mann's Westerns with Jimmy Stewart, such as Winchester 73.
Where is he? Where is he?
But as the 1950s and 1960s went forward and people like Howard Hawks and El Dorado made their last great films in the Western field, and as John Wayne made his last film as a Western star, The Shootist with Don Siegel, where he played a gunfighter dying of cancer, the genre itself had also seemed to be in decline. What had taken its place were science fiction films, particularly things like Star Trek, space, the final frontier. Because Westerns are really about manifest destiny, crossing the entire United States, making it one entire continent our own. Now that voyage is into space. And so the Star Wars films and the Star Trek films and all of these science fiction spectacles now have the same idea of basically reaching out into the unknown and taming an untamable territory. But yet Westerns continue to be made. Unforgiven by Clint Eastwood is a recent example. The recent remake of 3:10 to Yuma. Westerns will always be popular, but they'll never be as exactly a main staple as they once were in the film genre, because we've moved on from those days and now we have new concerns in a new century. I'm Wheeler Winston Dixon, and this is Frame by Frame.